I took this little affirmation type thing from the Steve Harvey morning show, where he comes on, he's like, yeah, Steve Harvey has a morning show. And I took that and I was like, Tylan Bailey is a PE teacher. And so at least once or twice a week, when I get in my truck in the morning, when I pull in, backing out of my driveway, I was like, Tylan Bailey is a PE teacher. And like, it's still unbelievable to me. Like, I actually am doing something that I want to do, something that I have wanted to do, and something that I know I love. Like, I made the right decision. So.
Welcome back to another episode of Second Act Stories. I'm your host, Scott Merritt.
And I'm Scott's co-host, Andy Levine. Today's episode has been in the national headlines. Scott, tell us about your interview with Tylan Bailey.
Sure, Andy. So Tylan is the poster child for overcoming adversity and achieving your dreams. In spite of being an honor student at school, he faced a ton of challenges that prevented him from going off to college right out of high school. Instead, he got a job as an elementary school custodian with plenty of time off and lots of benefits. And 23 years later, he's finally living his dream, working as a teacher in an elementary school.
Scott, I love this story. From custodian to elementary school teacher, it's a great one. Here's Tylan Bailey's second act story.
I primarily grew up in Atlanta area, mainly on the east side of Atlanta, a little community called Scottdale. It's right in between Atlanta and Decatur.
Growing up, was education a dominant force in your home?
Oh yeah, my mom stressed education. Like it was, my only job was education. If I didn't do homework, my classwork, my grades weren't right, I couldn't go outside and play.
Were you a good student?
Oh yeah, I was excellent. I was considered gifted.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I was considered gifted.
Did you do anything extracurricular when you were in school?
I played basketball, baseball, football, the typical American sports. The big three, I like to call it.
What'd you want to be when you grew up?
Growing up, originally, everybody wants to be that basketball star, that football star, baseball star. Sure. I thought I was going to be all three. I thought I was going to be like the new version of Bo Jackson with 3 times better. So, but it came to a point where my dream was to be a teacher. I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher.
That's really interesting. What drew you to kindergarten?
And it's like, that's the foundation for everything. Then I got older. I was like, nah. Nah. Kindergarten's not for me. Like once I realized I wasn't gonna be a kindergarten teacher, I was like, PE. I love sports. I want to be active. I want kids to be active, and then it's like that's what my focus was on for a while.
Before we get on to what ultimately became your career, and I want to explore that, let's talk about challenges for a second. Did you have to overcome a lot of challenges growing up?
Oh, a lot of challenges. Homelessness, the 90s drug era, where parents were, addicted to drugs at the time. So I moved a lot. I actually attended 14 different schools from kindergarten through, graduating high schools, like 14 different schools. So
at one point, Tylan landed 2,000 miles away in Great Falls, Montana, but his grandmother, who lived outside Atlanta, wound up providing a home base. Because of the constant shuffle, Tylan craved stability in his life, which he found in an unusual place for a kid with a tough home life, at school. He channeled his energy into his studies, and despite the overwhelming odds, he found himself on the honor roll. Even with his grades, Tylan didn't go straight to college from high school, which made me wonder whether he even wanted to.
I did, but I was a teenage father.
So another challenge.
My daughter was born right before I turned 19 years old.
So now it's not just fending for yourself. Now you have to feed
I got to
a
feed
baby.
a baby. So that's why like college wasn't like right away.
What was your thought process as you were looking for work?
I was talking to my uncle, one of my uncles, and he's like, you can get a job, with the school system. I was like, oh man, I just left school. Like, I don't want to go be a janitor. Like, he just kind of told me, like, you have this child now, so it's like you gotta find a way, like you can take care of it. Like this, and the school system had benefits. He's like, you need those. So that's when
Right.
I took the job as a janitor at 20 years old. So I started there. I remember the date. It was a Monday. It was November the 23rd, 1998.
You spent how many years as a custodian?
23 years. I stopped being a custodian 2021.
That's almost retirement time.
Yes. Long time. I mean, I made it to supervisor. I spent 12 years as a supervisor, what we call the head custodian in that building.
So it's a good, decently paying job that has good benefits, lots of time off. And you were there for a long time.
Yeah.
What inspired you when you were working as a custodian in a school?
The growth of the kids. I can say, like, seeing the kids come in at pre-K and leave at 5th grade, like, oh, they really have grown. They've learned a lot. I've seen how hard teachers work in the building. I saw how well, like, the principals of the building ran the school.
So was there a specific moment when you were working as a custodian that made you think, hey, I'm going to do more than maintain this place?
I can't really pinpoint a moment. I think it got to a point where I think it was like maybe like 2005. I had to be about 27, 28 years old at the time. And I was like, man, I really want to go to school. So I actually went over to, at the time it was Georgia Perimeter over in Clarkson, Georgia. And I was like, I went over and got a application, and I kind of held on to it. But then I think probably about a month or two after I went ahead and filled it out, and I got accepted. And once I got accepted, I was like, oh, like I'm gonna do it. And so I ended up getting my associate's degree from there, but it took me like 4 years to do it. And once I got that out of the way, I kind of just fell off. Like I got my associates, and everything, life started to catch up again. So I like to say I give credit to my wife for saying, asking, like, what do you want to do?
By now, Tylan had 2 young kids. He'd picked up a second job delivering newspapers, and the thought of getting his bachelor's degree, having to attend classes and do homework, felt like a selfish pursuit that would take him away from watching his kids grow up. And then, in 2017, he finally reached a flashpoint.
So it's like 8 years after I get my associates. I was talking to my wife, and she was like, "What do you want to do?" Like, because she started to see it like I just had like this feeling like, do I really want to continue to be a custodian? Like I didn't have any problems with it. It was just like, what else can I do? It's just that's not a career. I started to feel like it was a job that I've had for almost 20 years at the time, and I was like, man, I really want to go back to school. She was like, you really want to go to school? Like, just go, just do it. So I like to say I give credit to my wife for saying, asking, like, what do you want to do?
At the age of 39, Tylan finally enrolled at Georgia State University to pursue his bachelor's degree in education. And he was by far the oldest student in most of his classes.
So I kind of like use my sense of humor to like get to these kids, like, like let them know, like, cause they're a little intimidated by me because they, once they found out like I'm 39, 40 years old, it's like, oh, you're the same age as my parents. Like, so they are like
Yeah.
kind of afraid to like really be themselves around me. And I had to let them know, like, yo, like be yourself. Just be you, because I'm gonna be me, because I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna be serious at times, because I'm gonna be myself. But so I want you to be yourself. So I kind of like use my sense of humor to like get to these kids, like, you know, like let them know, like, because, you know, they're a little intimidated by me, because once they found out like I'm 39, 40 years old, it's like, oh, you're the same age as my parents. Like, so they are like
Yeah.
kind of afraid to like really be themselves around me. And I had to let them know, like, yo, like be yourself. Just be you, because I'm gonna be me, because I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna be serious at times, because I'm gonna be myself. But so I want you to be yourself.
You know, how do you manage a full-time job with a lot of responsibility and going to college?
All right, so when it came to the full-time job and college class, if I always try, I had my principal. I go back to Miss Sheila Price. She's the principal at Hightower Elementary. I go back to talking to her and saying, like, I'm in school. I may need to change my schedule based around some of the classes. Because any classes that were offered in the evening, I would sign up for. If they were only offered in the morning, that's when I talked to her, and then I talked to the other guys that work with me, and they was pretty cool about switching schedules, so that I can make sure I got those classes. But it was times where I didn't sleep. Like, honestly, it was times I might get 2 hours of sleep. Like, I would go in the morning to the school, open the school up. Some days, if the class was in the middle of the day, because it's college, it's a university,
Right.
They're not always offered early morning or late evenings. It was the middle of the day. I would go in, work 3 or 4 hours during the day, leave, go to class, take 1 or 2 classes, then go back, and I'll end up closing the building.
A long day.
Very long day, and then come home and have to do projects or papers. And so I'll be up at this table. My wife, she used to take so many pictures. She's like, why are you taking so many pictures? I would be at my kitchen table, doing writing, typing, just trying to make it get it done.
Yeah. Who was your biggest supporter?
My wife. My wife, by far. Biggest, the biggest. Yeah, I mean, just no words can't really describe like the support that she gave me, because, like I say, it was time like if I'm going all day, she's home. She works, she comes home. She's also a teacher, by the way.
Okay.
So she's at her school, and then come on with the kids or whatever, and I'm working, going to school. So by the time I get home, they're pretty much in the bed. So she's handled the house, and just always just get it done.
What inspires you most about teaching?
Just seeing the growth and development of the kids. Like being that I'm a PE teacher, we're seeing those kids from where they were to where they are now, and knowing that I had a part in it, their skills, being able to throw a ball. Like, they came in, they couldn't throw a ball. Now they can throw a ball. It's like, oh, I had a part of that. So that growth, seeing that they know how to listen, they know how to focus, because I do this thing, well, it's kind of like a trick that I do with them. I've made up this game called Georgia Statue, right? Where I tell them to turn themselves into a statue. When they turn themselves into a statue, I start talking. So, but if they move, because no statues can't move, these statues can only blink and breathe, and that's it. They can't move,
Right.
so their eyes are focused, and I'm teaching them how to focus. Like that, I feel like I'm teaching them how to focus, and like seeing that, and even if I don't play that game, and I can see that they are paying attention. And when you're kindergarten, it's like, oh, wait, you can stay still. You can listen. So just seeing stuff like that really like makes me feel good.
Do you work in an elementary school?
I work in an elementary school. That's when I say like seeing them seeing how they grow and, the development, like say they can't throw a ball, and now they can throw a ball and catch a ball. And I help them with that.
It also doesn't hurt that you teach the class that they look forward to going to.
Yeah, and that's also a little. You got to have a lot of patience as a PE teacher. I want to say that. Let's put that on record. Like you say, they look forward, so they're already like their emotions is like amplified, 10 times over, because they know like, oh, I get to go run around, I get to, run and play and jump, and so it's like, oh, but I have to bring it down because it's still a classroom. It's still a classroom, even though it has basketball goals in it. You still got to learn. Like this week, I was teaching kindergartens about the number of bones in your body. Like to hear them say, come the first day, I was like, how many bones you have? 20,000 bones. Like, no, that's not that many. Just one or two off. Like, let's keep going. And then once, I tell them like, it's 206 bones in your body. All right. And then it's like, oh, and then come back the next day and it's like, how many bones in your body? And then they can say it. And it's like, okay, they're actually learning. I'm actually a teacher. So, and that's the part I really trip out on too.
So you were the head custodian, and you went up in pay over all those years with seniority and what have you. Was there a part of you that when you went back to school to become a teacher felt like this is going to be a major step backwards when I go to work as a first-year teacher?
No. I'm doing something I've always wanted to do. My wife always asks, how's your day? My day is great. I don't have anything to complain about. I didn't have a bad day. I probably had a bad moment, but I'm not having a bad day.
So tell me about, as a teacher now who's working in a school where you have this insight into the way the custodial end of the school works. How does that help you to work within the framework of an operating school? Like, do you have certain insights based on having been a custodian that help you get your job done better?
Yeah. It's kind of like a fast track. Like, not to make this like classroom management for one. Like, that's probably the biggest thing that first year teachers lack. Classroom management. All right, being around the school for 23 years, I knew like, all right, if you don't control your class like the first week of school, you're not gonna control them at all. So, and even like knowing that every kid is not a happy child. Every child, every student that comes in the building is not just gonna be the child that's gonna listen to everything you say. And no matter how nice you can be to them, they just don't want to hear it. And now being a teacher, I know that like every child is not the same. They're not going to learn the same. Got to be hands-on with some and let others just go.
So take me through your thought process now when you open your eyes, when you wake up in the morning.
Oh man, that's a great question. So it's not. I don't think I had a day where I was like, man, I don't feel like going. I haven't had. So when I wake up, I actually have my clothes ready the night before. Like I don't have to go search because I'm already like ready the night before. Like I lay out my my sweatpants in my shorts and stuff the night before. And once I get up, like, I'm happy. Like, I'm not feeling like, oh, I gotta go to this place. Not to say that I was like that as a custodian, but I'm really like, now it's like, man, I'm doing something that I wanted to do, something I actually love. I took this little affirmation type thing from the Steve Harvey morning show, where he comes on, he's like, yeah, Steve Harvey has a morning show. And I took that and I was like, Tylan Bailey is a PE teacher. And so at least once or twice a week, when I get in my truck in the morning, when I pull in, backing out of my driveway, I was like, Tylan Bailey is his PE teacher. And like, it's still unbelievable to me. Like, I actually am doing something that I want to do, something that I have wanted to do, and something that I know I love. Like, I made the right decision. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
Not a lot of people get to experience that kind of satisfaction in what they do, especially after they've had a career for so long doing something else.
I always tell my classes, like, I have six periods, 6 classes a day. I can see probably 200 students in that time. And I'll always tell the kids, like, when they come in, I say, I'm having a great day. Don't make it bad. Like, I tell each class when they come in, Coach Bailey is having a great day today. Don't make it bad. And they kind of understand, like, all right, we're gonna be on our best. So, like I said, I'm doing something I love.
So tell me about your favorite story that involves a kid. Like, you've got to have hundreds by now.
Last year, my first year teaching, this kid, I want to say he was in 3rd grade. Yeah, he was a 3rd grader. But this kid was like so wise. I don't know if he had been kept back, but he was just like beyond his years. I would like to say he could sound like he was 15 years old. And so one day we're in the gym and we're doing our activities. I'm like, where's such and such? Like, so I'm walking around like looking for him, and I go like on the side of my cabinet where I keep my equipment at, and he's over in this corner on the phone. He's talking on the cell phone. I was like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm talking to my mom's friend. Why are you talking to your mom's friend? Because this is my mom's phone, and so she gave me this phone, and I got, everybody keeps calling her phone, so I got to answer it and let them know that she has a new phone. Well, you're not going to answer this phone in my class, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, so he's just like in the corner talking on the phone. I'm like, in middle of class. Like, it was nothing. Like, he's just like, I got to take this phone call. Like, I got to make sure I let everybody know this is not my mom's phone anymore. I was like, let me have the phone. He gave me the phone. And so he went on, I ended up giving it to his teacher.
So, what would you say to somebody who's sitting on the fence about making a major career change, but for one reason or another, they just can't seem to make that leap?
I've said this on national TV before. So I said, you have to meet your blessings halfway. You have to. You want those blessings. You want whatever it is that's supposed to be for you. If you're just going to sit and not go for it because you're afraid to go for it, it's probably not going to come to you. All right. So don't be afraid to go out to something that you want. Fear oftentimes keeps us from going over the wall. Like I said earlier, I had an application, a college application, sitting in my car for almost 2 months because I was afraid. and I decided to go over that wall of fear. And here I am now. So go out, meet your blessings halfway. Go get it.
Tylan Bailey's joy and pride are infectious. I'm not sure I've ever met anyone more excited to wake up and seize the day. After 23 years in a job he never really wanted, he's now in the career he always dreamt of. Here are a few thoughts that occurred to me after interviewing Tylan. Number 1, an innate sense of responsibility can lead you in different directions. The curveballs life dealt him caused him to enter his first career as a custodian out of a sense of responsibility to others. It was a sense of responsibility to himself that caused him to finally pursue his lifelong passion to be a teacher. Number 2, a dream deferred is still achievable. As cliche as it sounds, Tylan proved that it's never too late to change directions and tear down the walls between you and your dreams. And number 3, you're an active participant in your blessings. It bears repeating. You have to meet your blessings halfway. I just love that term. Andy and I are always on the lookout for new people to profile on Second Act Stories. If you'd like to suggest a candidate, we'd love to hear from you. Just visit our website at www.secondactstories.org and click on the Nominate a Guest box at the top of the homepage. If you like the show, please rate us and help others find the show by sharing. We hope you'll keep listening. There are more Second Act Stories just around the corner.